My name is Stephen Combs, and I'm the President and CEO of the Maryland University of Integrative Health. So my background and the way that it brought me to this position is kind of two parallel pathways. One was, I think, a pathway of personal growth and development, where I grew up in Southern California. That was an environment that was interested in health and wellness, perhaps excessively so, but that's where I started to first understand the link between nutrition and health. My mother was diabetic, and from the time I was about 11 years old, I really saw the difference, the connection between her food and her behavior. Being in that environment also, which is very health conscious, I started doing chiropractic and taking herbs and doing some other things to kind of round out the spectrum. I went from there to Hawaii and was able to deepen some of those practices. You know, the influence of Asia and Hawaii is of course huge, and so there are herbalists there that are from mainland China or from Taiwan, and I learned about acupuncture there and got a little bit deeper into herbs. I was also a body surfer, which is a very soulful, reflective kind of activity that leads to a lot of moments of contemplation and transcendence. And so all that was kind of happening on a personal level. And then professionally, my background is communication, which I think is very helpful in the work that I do. And some of my pet projects, my scholarly work later on, involved Taoism, which got me sort of introduced to, on that kind of scholarly level, to what was happening with Chinese thought and some of the manifestations. And then following that, I started moving into academic administration, and I worked at 3 very different universities as a dean and then a senior vice president. And all of those schools were struggling with various things, primarily money, because enrollments weren't what they wanted them to be. And so I had the opportunity to see 3 very different places, geographically, public, private, all of those sort of parameters were different. And to see how to manage the transition, the huge transition that higher ed's going through right now. As schools are fighting for market share and students, they're fighting to keep afloat. They're trying to put in place business models that they didn't really think about in past years. So the recession really woke people up to the fact that people are not going to endlessly pay more for higher ed. They're going to demand value, and we need to deliver it. And so how can we deliver value, and how can we keep or capture larger market share, but at the same time keep that relationship-based soul of an academic institution? MUIH is the embodiment of all of that. So, in terms of its teaching programs, it's teaching alternatives and complementations to traditional healthcare practices. It's drawing on ancient Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine traditions that have been around for thousands of years. It's informing that with cutting-edge research into nutrition and pain management and other things like that. The work that they do, I think, is incredibly interesting, and it fits perfectly with the kind of personal growth and development that I've been going through, which is to become a more fully integrated human being that takes advantage of all of the wonders of the natural world to try to maintain our own internal health. So I'm very, very comfortable with that mission. And also the university has experienced tremendous growth. We've pretty much doubled in size in the last 5 years or so. And we've got new programs coming online that tell us it's going to grow significantly more. The entire field of integrative health is at a cutting edge right now, where it's, I think, ready to take off, really ready to explode. And so from a professional standpoint, this is a university that I think matches my professional skill sets in terms of managing organizations and trying to lead them through those various changes that they inevitably go through. So MUIH started as the it was TAI, and then it became the Thai Sophia Institute. It was an acupuncture school, and 2 very profound and thoughtful individuals, as far as I founded the university around those principles of acupuncture. I think there was just an inexorable demand for moving into herbs and yoga and adding more and more disciplines as time went on. That burnishment of the university has changed. We became a university about 10 or 15 years ago, and so we've elevated our professionalism as our profession has also elevated its status in the world.